Okay, getting ready to remove the large sump filter. This large nut here, and I found that's 1.5 inches AF. So I've got a nice large socket. You could probably do it with something else, but much easier with it. It's 1.5 inches anyway. That's the right socket for it, which is going to make our life hopefully a lot easier in removing it. Okay, we got the gauze filter out of the back of the sump. It did not want to come out. Woohoo! That did not want to come out. I warn you now. So what we do is just take it apart and just check we haven't got any crud in there. So there's a little circlip, and then a big washer under the circlip. You can see that, and then the actual gauze itself. And then the oil left in the little thing. I'm just having a look what we got there. We've got something there. I think it's just a bit of gasket. We've got, it's actually a whole bit of Loctite. And probably overdid the Loctite. Yeah. It's just bits of Loctite. They probably, when I did it up, yeah, I think they probably overdid the Loctite, and they went into the bottom of the filter through the holes on the side. It won't do any harm, but that's what's caused it. So, phew, that's okay. For a minute I thought, oh God, what's that? Like a shard of metal or something, but no, it's definitely just remains of Loctite. Wasn't overdid the Loctite and put it back together. Yeah, nothing else in there, and that's it. The filter, gauze, yeah, absolutely fine. Got a new washer, so I'll put that aside. So I'll put it back together now. There's nothing in there, which is great. So just pop the gauze back in, put the washer back on the top, and then the little circlip on top of the washer to hold the whole thing together. And make sure, as ever, that the circlip is fully engaged in its groove. Yeah, and then shortly we can put that back in. Right, let's have a look. So this is a plain, I think that's a plain washer. Well, I think the replacement I've been given, I think, is a crush washer. Let's have a look at it. Bit of play there. Looks more like a exhaust sealing ring, that one. I'll try my old one. That seems a better fit. So I'm going to reuse, it's a nice thick copper gasket, copper sealing ring. So I'm going to reuse that. This is the new one that they sent me. I'm not sure it's the right one or whatever. It doesn't seem to fit quite properly. And it's a crush washer, so I'm not going to use it. So again, I'll anneal, excuse me, I'll re-anneal this this washer like I did the other one, and then we'll put it back on. The spin-on oil filter itself, which is here in front of the back wheel. So we've got this sort of massive Jubilee clip that will come off, and then we've got our bespoke oil filter 3-jawed remover tool. And I always, you know, it's worth, if you've got a spin-on oil filter like that, it's worth getting one of these. You know, I remember back in the day, and we are going back to the 70s now. Oh yes, we are. Trying to get these damn. I remember trying to replace my dad. You know, as you did in those days, you serviced your own car, and trying to get the damned oil filter off the Mini. God, I bet we couldn't get it off. Yeah, always worth investing in a decent oil filter removing tool. So I'm going to undo that Jubilee clip, put this 3-legger clamp on, and hopefully the old oil filter will let go with any luck. Well, removing that old filter was harder than anticipated, for the simple reason that the filter is very close to the back wheel. So I went to put my famous 3-legged puller on the back, and there wasn't really enough clearance between the back of the filter and the back wheel to get it on. But I just managed to squeeze it on in the end, and the filter came off. Don't forget that the filter will be full, and I mean full of oil. So when you get it off, always hold it the right way up, and then you can empty it later on. And so yeah, we've got the old one, and that's the new one. So we're simply going to spin. There's nothing to do to the new one. It's already got like a touch of oil around the seal. So we simply spin that on, not too tight, just tight enough. Put that Jubilee clip, that sort of safety band round it, and then that's it. Hurrah! Okay, now I've done the put the new filter. Where's it gone? Oh, where are you? Up there. Thank you. Put the new oil filter on. Put the safety strap round. Now I can refill the pipe with oil. I tend to use Morris Lubricants Golden Film 2050. Now that's just what I use. I'm not saying this is the best oil. It's the 2050 classic motor oil. I'm not saying it's the best, but I've always used it, and I think it's a very good oil. That's all I can say. Maybe there are better oils out there, I don't know, but I've always used this, so that's it. That's all I can say. Is it better or worse than others? I couldn't say, but I've always used it, and it always seems to have done me proud. So I'm going to fill the tank, our oil tank. I'll fill it up to full, to high, knowing that when I start the engine, because I've got the anti-wet sump valve, then when I've run the engine a bit, I'll have to top the tank up. I just say this because normally if you haven't got an anti-wet sump valve, what people do is they sometimes open check the oil level, and of course it's gone down. So they go, oh God, I need some more oil, not realising that the bike's wet sump. So then they fill the tank full of oil. Of course, when the engine starts, it pumps the oil back in to the tank, and then you've got a massive oil overflow. But in my case, I've got the anti-drain valve, so I'll fill it up to high, then later on when the engine started, then I'll top it back up again. Okay, and then that will be the engine oil change done, and the next thing I'll do, I'll be checking the oil in the gearbox.